is there are kind of like 4 key areas, which is now I've created a framework around it. And this is how the journey that I have gone through. I think one part is our identity work, which is like how we came to define who we are and how we live, which is, say, for instance, most people don't even understand boundaries. Like 90% of my work with people is about boundaries. Like when it comes to connecting with each other, connecting in our relationships at work, we just don't understand our boundaries. And then the other part of it is what I call victim consciousness. So living in our life, where is life happening for us or life happening to us? And when we live in this idea that life is happening to us, then we fall into, you call it victim triangle or drama triangle, as it's called. And then there's this like, what kind of belief system have we got? Like, how do we define our self-worth? How do we define our inner value? Do we have a basic idea that we belong, or we fear abandonment? And how do we, what is our relationship with self-care and self-love? So those are kind of like our belief system. And the fourth thing in that identity is our cultural conditioning. What are the things that we've learned growing up through our family, the society, our friend circle, our extended family? What ideas have we grown up with? So when you combine those 4 things, that is how we kind of define our identity. So a deep excavation of our identity work is crucial to create, I think, a solid foundation in who we are. So that's one area. The second part for me is things like introspection and knowing our mind-body connection, like congruence. So for me, I was someone who was very much in a rational, logical world. And I was pretty much most of my time in my head. I was not connected to my body. And if 8 years ago, if someone even said anything about embodiment, I was like, what are you talking about? I had no idea. So I find that just connecting with our body and understanding things like how our intuition works, how our feelings have a language that nobody understands. Like, I mean, I'm being cliched here, but men usually are very rational and logical in that way, and women are more embodied and connected. So in that way, I say that women are bilingual in that way, because women have learned the masculine language as well as they're expert in feminine language, which is the body-based language, while men mostly haven't done the work to connect with our feelings. So we are just like, logical, rational, direct language based. So connecting to my body had allowed me to learn this feeling-based language, because ultimately, if you look at it, as humans, we are always connected. Even when we don't speak a word, there's always some kind of communication happening at a feeling level, at an energetic level. And if you can tap into that embodied space, then a whole new world opens up. So that is the second part that I work with, which is kind of my specialist area, masculine, feminine dynamics. I just love that. Then the third piece I have learned is, whether you call it discipline, practices, rituals, but something that you do on a daily basis to, it's like going to the gym. Like if you go to the gym once in a month versus going to the gym every day, you will know the difference. So for our mind, body, and spirit, what are our practices that we do every day to keep on top of things? Because there are peak experiences when we go into like workshops, we go into learn some new things, and we have a peak experience where we learn something about ourselves, and we're like, oh, this is possible for me. I can see a version of myself that I wasn't able to see yesterday. And we think that just by going to those workshops, we will achieve that place. But no. What you've got to then do is to build the practices, build the discipline to become the person that you see in these peak experiences. So that is the third piece for me. And the fourth is living life as play, like an infinite game. And which is, there's like rules of infinite play that I teach and what I have learned, which is about not living any part of life on a win-lose basis, but we play the game because we just want to play the game. And when I say game, as in life as an infinite game, and everything in that just becomes research. Everything, your work, money, relationship, everything becomes research, where we're just continuously learning and playing and getting better than ourselves, and then you just like play. So those four kind of areas are what I have sort of in my experience are put together, that when you do those things, that's where like you can go towards mastery, like live a life which is in flow. um, and and that's applicable everywhere. I think men, women, the journey might look slightly different because of our cultural conditioning is different. And that's where I think a lot of the time I differentiate between the masculine and feminine, because like certain men are more feminine than masculine and certain women are more masculine than feminine. So masculine and feminine are more traits that we all have. Is just sometimes on that scale of masculine and feminine, I seem to be more on the masculine side and I want to develop my feminine side, and that's how I want to be a whole human being.